Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. I'm at work, so I had to bring my tripod in and film this here at work. You know me, I love to multitask. I'm so excited though. Today we have such a rad female guest, Sherri Saum. She is an actress on Netflix's. You've probably seen her, Lock and Key, a really, really rad show. She crushes it on Law and Order SVU. She's getting into directing. She's somebody that I look up to and admire so much. So I'm really excited and honored. Hi, you guys. So excited. You guys. Hi, Marshall. Hi, you guys. Thanks for jumping on. I'm so stoked to have Sherri jump on and just talk a little bit about navigating such a hard industry. Hi, Cher.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good, and I don't know if I did this right. I kind of crashed your intro. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do this. It's IG Live. Sometimes internet's not working, but regardless, we have you. And are you in town? Are you traveling? Where are you right now? On set?
I am home. I've been traveling like crazy, but I am finally home, reacclimating, and here I am.
Yeah. Well, you're like the triple threat. You know, you're a very successful actress, and yet you do all of these other things while balancing work, mom life. You have two adorable boys that I want to talk about as well. And usually this becomes my last question because I think as women, we sort of put ourselves last. But with someone like you, that is something that I've always kind of admired, that every time I see you, you're just in such an abundance perspective. And I can see why people like to be in your space. You have a lot of really nurturing female friendships, obviously a very successful career, a super amazing husband, and then of course your beautiful boys. How do you sort of balance all of that? I mean, where do you try to prioritize Sherri in all of that?
I think it may go back to my own upbringing. My mom, she raised us as a single parent, and she worked full-time and went to school full-time, and she was not particularly apologetic about any of it. Not that I was looking for her to be. I was like, that's what mom does. That's what she does. If that means we order Domino's pizza and watch TV till we fall asleep by ourselves, that's what we do.
Yeah.
But the best part was that my entire upbringing, I never, ever, ever questioned how much I was loved. I knew deeply that we were the most important thing in her life. To this day we are. I mean, she always made that clear just by her actions alone. And so I never felt, I never questioned it. No matter what she was doing, no matter how busy she was, we always felt like the most important thing to her. So I always am very intentional with my boys about when I'm working. It's not like, oh, I have to go to work, you guys. Oh, I wish I didn't have to go. I'm like, I get to go to work. I'm so excited. You guys know where Mama's going to be? And I'll FaceTime them from my hotel room, and they'll be like, oh, Mama, let me see the view. And what are you doing today, Mama? And they're so excited for me because that's how I present what I do to them. I want them to see, you should love what you do. And again, I take a page out of my mom's book where there's no question. I mean, I smother them with love and quality time, but I love what I do, and I always knew when I was going to have kids that was never going to stop. So yeah, they're just along for the ride, like it or not, babies.
And I appreciate that as somebody who loves my work, and it feels meaningful and it feels purposeful, and I take a page out of your book too, because I think having children see their mom doing what they love encourages the child to pursue doing what they love. Because I think that the thing we teach children is to disassociate themselves from what they want because they have to be that way for mom. But you're teaching them to be their authentic self because mom is being their authentic self. And it's so admirable because I really do love your partnership. And how highly you speak of your husband, Kamar, who's such a great husband too. And it is amazing to watch because your career has taken off. Well, you've always had a very successful career, but you're like you're on fire. My question for you is, I struggle with trying to not be so busy because I've just gone through a lot the last 6 months. Just losing my dad and all of that. Do you have that same thing where your schedule gets really busy and then you're kind of in busy mode? Like, how do you try to slow down, or do you love the thrill of being on the go and you're always on the road? You are kind of always on the road.
Yeah, I that's where I thrive, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a contradiction because I love solitude, I love peace, I love all of that. I'm very introverted. I love that, but I do not thrive in like languishing around. Like I love to be busy, and I have people, family, friends who are like, oh, I just can't wait till Karen. My friend Karen's always saying, oh, Friday, oh, thank God Friday's here. And I was always the opposite. I'm like, no, because Friday means that nothing can get going, that there's no work to be done. I thrive with it. I can't be busy enough. I just love to work. I love to travel. I've always been that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel the same way, actually. I kind of don't enjoy the weekend because you can't email business and agents and all of that. But, one of the things I had said about you when I introduced you is obviously you've had a very successful robust acting career. And a lot of people tuning in are fans of yours and supporters of yours. But now you're sort of getting into the directing world. You are prepping on a short film, which is amazing, where you're going to be the director. First and foremost, how did you get interested in even exploring the world of directing, and why was that important for you?
I never thought it was going to be my journey at all. I always thought that's what they do and this is what I do. But I started, I would have these little mentors in my ear. I remember the director of our pilot episode of The Fosters. His name was Timothy Busfield. He's a great guy, awesome actor, awesome director in his own right. And I remember him saying to me, don't you dare leave this show without your DGA card. And he said, and I'm like, huh? And so he kind of planted the seed in my head, and then I just started kind of hanging and lingering around the monitor area where the producers and the director, sit there with their hub and watch the action. And I just started feeling like this is where I want to be, because I love between action and cut. Like that's where I live, that's where I thrive, that's what I dream of. But the bummer about acting is you're always waiting around, and I'm so impatient. I'm just like very, very, very impatient. So you do your scene, it's so exciting, it's so fun, and then you go sit in your dressing room for 3 hours. That waiting part. So I love the director is just constantly in charge from morning till night, and there's never a dull moment. Like as soon as the scene is over, you go on, you start prepping the next scene, you start it's just action, 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 action all the time, and to have such, in the day, to me, feels like it goes like that. Whereas with acting, as much as I love it, it can be so 14 hours feels like 24 hours. Directing, you're just like go, 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 and before you know it, the day is over, and it's exciting to me.
Yeah. Does it feel like you're really working your creative chops, and then there's this element of collaboration because you're in a different chair, or really looking at it through a different lens, and you're being a supportive creative. It's different than acting, right? I don't know. I've never done directing, but I imagine it's got to be really fulfilling.
Yeah, and it's so interesting to me. I started shadowing directors a few years ago, and just shadowing some of the really good ones, and you would see them make an adjustment with an actor. Just say it, maybe try to take a little edge off that last line, and then you see them take that direction and incorporate it, and it just hairs on your arm difference. So to be able to craft and be able to have that dialogue with the actors in a respectful way, and see how different directors get things out of different actors, but to see how just one tweak in the inflection of a line can change the whole scene and make it just land just really be impactful was so exciting to me, that you have that kind of, you have that vision, you have that control, you have that, and then you collaborate with all these other amazing people in this business who I see in these prep meetings now. It helps me as well as an actor, because I really wish every actor or anyone in any field really could do other people's jobs for just a week. and just you get a whole different perspective. Because one of my biggest, like, as an actor, I'm so bad this way. Whenever you have a dinner scene, and like on the Fosters, one of you who've ever seen the Fosters, dinner scenes are very famous on there. And we'd be served this food, and we got to do this long day of eating this food and resetting and resetting. I would just eat that food all day. I would just, take food off my other people's plate. I was eating all, not even thinking about the prop master back there who spent so much time prepping just a certain amount for each take and needing to looking at me probably like, oh my God, is she going to eat that cucumber because I'm going to have to recut? All those things that you don't think about. Or,
right.
Like sometimes they're like, oh, we need to move that lamp. And I would just kind of move it for them. And it's like, no, there's an entire union of people whose job it is to do these different, you got to respect everybody's place in this giant kaleidoscope that makes a film or TV. It's like, it humbles you. You're not just like showing up like, here I am, the party's starting. No, like you learn everybody's place in this world. And without one, the other one doesn't work. And
yeah, you become so focused on the details, which is really interesting too, because I try to mentor young women in my space, and I always say, be an intern and do all of the jobs, produce, write the script, edit. The more you can kind of understand all the different variations of the job, the better prepared you will to be to really thrive and deliver in a broadcast space. But it's interesting too, what comes up for me, and I think it's definitely relatable for me with my career, is because I think our industry is so subjective. There's a lot of different opinions that can come out. So, and some of them are maybe not positive all the time. I've always admired you, and you've actually given me really great advice. And I know people who are watching who may struggle with this in an industry that feels like a lot of pressure or feels like it has a lot of criticism. How do you handle knowing that you are doing you and you're not really worried about the feedback, because I think a lot of young women, I always think, for an interview, what would I want my 11-year-old niece to grow up learning? And I would want her to know that I have feelings too, and staying focused on knowing that I'm doing the best that I can each day is what sort of helps release myself from the need to try to be perfect. But do you have something that works for you when you get frustrated?
Oh my goodness. I always just go back to, well, they hired me for this job. They saw my audition. They liked what I brought. But you have to be also very flexible to a degree, that if something changes and they need you to adapt to that change within reason, that you can kind of be a partner in that within reason. Again, if it's something you didn't sign up for, then they can move on and cast somebody else, because this is what I bring. I'm confident in what I bring. And they must have been confident in what I brought, or they wouldn't have hired me. So, it's hard though. I used to be, when I started out, I would hear the producers in the corner, like, and you just be like, oh my gosh, are they talking about me? What's going on? Did I suck in that take? And now being on the other side, like as a shadowing a director, you know that they're going, I don't know if we can, get this before lunch. Maybe we can do that other thing that, they're talking about something completely different. So it's best if you just prep, keep your preparation strong, be flexible and malleable for adjustments as they're needed. But, in this business, especially, hang on to you. Mm-hmm. Be true to you, because it's so easy to just be like, oh, someone wants this from me, someone wants that from me. Hang on to you and do what you do best. And again, like if it's not fitting, if it doesn't fit for you, move on, or they can move on. And there's always someone or somewhere that you will fit. So
I used to have to not look at the audition sheet because I would go, oh no, that person's auditioning, and it would like throw me off. I used to do that. Now I'm kind of excited when I see the audition sheet, and I'm much more confident in going like, I'm going to bring me. They're not going to want another version of me. They're going to want me. So I just have to, do
precisely.
Do me. That's the only thing.
I learned that lesson a long time ago. I was auditioning for the show that was shot in Vancouver. It was called Beggars and Choosers. This was back in like 1999. And I went in, I was getting like callback. and I went to the final. It was just me and this other girl, and I didn't know until that day who it was, and it was, her name is Karen Parsons. She played the sister on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? So she has this long, very successful, huge, explosive, amazing show that, you know, super, super famous. Like, everyone knows who she is. I have zero experience in comedy, so it was like a comedy. And so I went in there going, oh, well, why am I even here? Let me go get my car out of the valet and go home, because this girl. And then, but little did you know, they actually wanted someone who was a little less known. They brought her because maybe another executive might have, you know, gone that way. But they brought me because they wanted to see something else. So you never know what they might want. And you can't be the casting director. That's not your job. Your job is to show up and be you, and not you, but the character that you've created.
Yeah, and that's the only thing. I mean, acting is monumentally challenging in that I had interviewed Kevin Connolly. He's had a very long career, and he had said it's so rare to even book an acting job because there's so much competition out there. And, you know, when I had asked him how did he handle rejection and just navigating a long career, he was like, you just kind of had to be you. Like, you just kind of had to do you, because exactly what you said. You don't really know what the casting directors are looking for. You think, oh, someone who's really big that you have to go up against, they may be looking for something completely opposite. So that's the issue. That's what we struggle with. And I think it's profoundly challenging as a woman because we struggle, I know I do, with comparison. And then I don't know, sometimes it really can knock me off my game. You have to be aware of that and go, wait, I'm Erin. I'm not going to be anybody else. I'm going to just try to bring my best version of me. And it was really interesting. I remember you had given me great advice one time when someone asked me a question that I was like, I couldn't believe I got asked this question. And instead of like even caring about the question, you actually like empathetically felt like love for this person for asking this question. And it changed my perspective of, oh, Sherri doesn't take things personal. Because it's not about us, you know, it's about the other person. So how have you navigated at times when you hear no? Like, I obviously have seen it where you don't take it personal or it doesn't bother you. But for people that might be watching that, you know, have challenging moments where they feel like they're not being chosen, do you have any advice for us on that?
Well, I know I say this for anybody in any career, but you know, I know I'm meant to be doing this. I don't have any question about that. I love it so much. I can't imagine, you know, it's why I breathe. Like, I love it so much. And my big thing is I know mine is coming. I know the thing is coming. My big issue really is just, you know, I don't care if you didn't like me, just tell me by 6 tonight. Like, I just want to move on, you know, like, I get super invested in the character. I work really, 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 really hard. I put my best foot forward, and then it's like that waiting, because you don't know if, does this go to producers next week? And then they take a week to review them. I'm like, just, okay, if you don't want me, that's fine. Just tell me tonight. So then I can, like, you know, move on. Like, I want to get to mine that's meant for me. So let's just speed it up, people. And that's why I'm kind of also excited about this, you know, all the awful atrocities of this pandemic. One of the bright spots in my perspective, for my career, is that it's, you know, it's changed over to the self-taping, and there's no driving across town, hyping yourself up, finding parking, sitting in a room with 12 other people that could get the job, you know, all those things that were kind of, to me, one of the nuisances of the career. Now it's like you can sit at home, you can perfect what you want to do, you can be as neurotic as you want to be, and send your best tape in that you choose. And I think things are moving faster these days because everyone's just looking at your tape on a thing. They can make decisions. So
that's an interesting. I kind of knew that, but it's hearing it from you. How the acting world has evolved with just streaming services. And it's interesting. You make a really great point. Like, decisions are being made a little bit faster because everything is being sent digitally. You don't have to drive around in LA trying to go to an audition, which is a bit of a nightmare. I can't let you go without talking about one of the most remarkable programs that I was privileged to be a part of a special event. And is it Kusawera? Am I saying it properly? Yeah.
Yep.
Kusawera, Karen Osborne, who is a dear friend of yours. I look up to her so much. It's about empowering and educating children in Malawi.
Yes.
Could you enlighten us a little bit more about the program and how people can learn more about it?
Enlightening children through active and creative play. Sometimes I think people play is underrated. How important that is, how crucial that is, especially for young children who are just developing and getting their ideas about, what they want to do in life and their dreams and all that age where it's still such a spongy time when, everything, you set all these ideas in these young kids' head. And she found an opportunity to lift up a community in Malawi by lifting up the children. And these things are kind of disguised as play, but they deal with, gender, respect between genders and, all these things that you can be taught through play, and they're learning dance, they're learning skills, they're learning, they're just, and the best part about Kusawera and Karen Osborne is that they partner with Malawians. It's not about Karen coming in and saving them. It's about, like, how can we support you? How can we use what you guys have and give you, partner with you to give you the best future possible? And everything, as we know, the future starts with the children, and so that's where the concentration is. But the ripples, the waves of what Kusawera is doing is spreading out into the communities because, children are going to school, the families the lives are improving. It's just something. I'm just in awe of what Karen's created from scratch. It was an idea in her head. And so that's when people say, like, oh, I'm one person, what could I possibly do? I point to Karen because she's a testament to, like, she's changing these lives. She's giving hope where there was not much hope.
It is fascinating to watch her work and do it so passionately. And I love what you said, and I didn't realize that. That's a really great point, that she didn't try to come in to change. She wants to come in to support what's already there, and provide more support, a better foundation. And I mean, I see you with your children. Play is so important. I mean, when I'm at your house, I'm exhausted because I'm being chased around and, I'm playing dinosaurs, and it's so much fun at your house. And I just want to say, Cher, we look up to you so much. Your kind heart, but you're so ambitious. And I feel like I do these because the more we talk about the things that we go through and the things that we are trying to navigate as women in today's day and age, it's not easy. So I love you so much.
But the sentiment goes right back to you. I see a lot of what you post, and I know your heart as well. And it's another reminder that no matter how put together and amazing someone is, like, we all go through something. And because I look at you and I'm like, look at this stunning, amazing woman just ruling this industry that she's in a male-dominated, crazy industry. I watched one of the programs we were hosting for NFL, and I'm like, I just couldn't believe the confidence, the knowledge, the skill, it's so much that goes into what you do, and the confidence and the skill with what you do it. It's shocking to me, in other words, that you ever have a moment's doubt, because you are so incredibly electric and so good at what you do. So the love parade goes right back to you. I'm in awe of you, and I admire you so much.
Well, I will take all of that goodness and absorb that in, because that felt so authentic, and coming from you, that really means so much. So you keep doing you, sis, because we look to you just to get all the permission in the world to keep marching on. It's not easy, and you do such a beautiful job of it. And congrats on the directing. Good luck with all of that. And I heart you. I'll see you soon, okay? Bye, you guys. Bye, Cher.